This is adapted from an article, Brahmana and Langhana. It's printed in Emily Light Yoga. That's emilylightyoga.com. When we open our senses to truly experience nature, we become familiar with the qualities of the seasons: hot, bright, and active, or cool, dark, and quiet. The actions of the plants and animals, growing, reproducing, harvesting, storing, or hibernating. The influence of the moon and the qualities associated with various parts of the day. As you hear me say quite a lot in class, what's happening outside in nature or Prakriti is happening on the inside too. That is why it's so powerful to align our practice with Prakriti. This simplifies the task of deciding what to practice, when to practice, and how to practice. We simply look at what's happening in nature for guidance on how to tend to our inner garden. The Kapha dosha governs the time from late winter through spring. Once we see the early spring bulbs reach up through the soil and the tree blossoms begin bursting open, Kapha season is in full swing, and we can see the upward and outward movement of prana all around us during this time of year. And we have access to the same energy as well. We can support and celebrate the Kapha dosha and the energy of spring with Brahmana techniques. The energetic principles of Brahmana and Langhana. The tools of yoga can be divided into two energetic principles. Firstly, there's expansion, Brahmana. Secondly, there's reduction, Langhana. There's also a balancing principle called samana. But for now, we'll just talk about the first two. Whether you realize it or not, you've explored Brahmana and Langhana tools within your yoga practice. The qualities of Brahmana: expand, increase, energize, nourish, build, strengthen. The qualities of Langhana: reduce, eliminate, decrease, calm, purify. We create Brahmana and Langhana effects by choice of asana, sequence, repetition, stay, pace, breath adaptation in asana, directional flow of breath, pranayama, chanting, and mantra. Energizing Brahmana techniques for springtime. When we're feeling dull, sleepy, stuck, or exhausted, we can work with energizing Brahmana techniques. And when there's mental distraction, acute anxiety, or stress, we can encourage a calm and relaxed nervous system by applying Langhana tools. My intention for this article is to highlight the application of Brahmana techniques in yoga to help us continue the progression of moving from the inwardly focused, reflective, and contemplative energy of the cold winter months into the building, growing, creating energy of the warm, more active part of the year. How to cultivate Brahmana. Elongation of the inhalation, paruka, and internal retention. Holding the breath for a moment, antar kambuka. Warming and energizing practices. More movement, such as in vinyasas, or pulsing into and out of postures, and less static holds of postures. Chest and shoulder openers, back bend postures, upward gaze, drishti, higher pitch and faster pace of chanting. The medicine of song. This has been a balanced practice of mine well before yoga came into my life. Using my voice to sing, chant, or even hum simultaneously grounds and uplifts, soothes and activates, and centers and expands. Sound creates a rooted sense of vitality in the body, mind, and heart. The medicine of song and vibration is potent. And those of you who join me in class, you know of this love. We chant a lot together. Recently, I introduced a new mantra to you and learned this one from a senior yoga therapist I had the pleasure of studying with, named Gary Kraft. So, Om, and this is thought to be the sound of the universe. It represents all states of consciousness, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, all words and syllables, and contains the creator, preserver, destroyer qualities of existence, the experience of birth, life, death, awakening. When we chant Om, we are aligning with all of this and remembering we are intimately connected to everything in the universe. Satya, truthfulness. Satya is one of the yamas, the social guidelines of yoga. The yamas help us to learn how to best connect with and relate with community. They are the dharmic principles of social behavior and help us establish right interactions with others. Satya in this mantra speaks to the truth of the true self. Chaitanya, one who is endowed with consciousness, one who has the ability to wake up and experience supreme reality. Supreme reality refers to what's actually happening in the moment. Because of our previous experiences in life and our conditioning, our perception of reality is colored. It's as if we're looking through our own uniquely colored glasses. Yoga helps us to see clearly, vidya, to see our conditioning and beliefs and how they influence our perception of reality. Ananda, this is translated as bliss. However, it's not the emotional state of bliss we typically think of. It's a radical sense of okayness, acceptance, and peace. It's the joy of peace. This is the layer or kosha that's the closest to the true self. When we tap into Ananda, we remember our innate wholeness, which is unwavering and undisturbed in the presence of confusion, fear, anger, and craving. Joy is the kind of happiness that doesn't depend on what happens. David Sankey Rost, Time is Ananda. Atma, Atman, breath, one who breathes, our inner true self. Our true self is regarded as our soul or spirit. It is eternal and unchanging, and is the part of ourselves which exists underneath our ego, identities, and our conditioned beliefs. We practice to wake up to this truth, to connect with the part of ourselves, and yoga is the mirror that reflects this luminosity back to us. Chanting the mantra reminds us that we were already fully awake, and underneath confusion, fear, anger, and pain, underneath suffering, underneath it all, our true self abides in the joy of peace. When we chant these words, we remember we are already whole and complete, just as we are in this very moment. In the light of clear seeing Vidya, we sense our thread, intimately woven into the fabric of the universe. Explore chanting this mantra while sitting or incorporate it into movement. You may also mentally repeat this mantra throughout your day. Working with Brahmana to harness and create. As spring continues on, I encourage you to look at nature for guidance on how to nourish yourself. Now is the time to gather your prana reserves and direct it into art, relationships, adventures, projects, and everything else your heart dreams of creating. Work with Brahmana in your practice for inspiration, to stoke your passions, and to build your resiliency.